Hey everybody, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be working on this 830 industrial behind me, finally getting all of the cooling system put back together, and we're also going to be working a little bit on the pony motor, adjusting the clutch on the pony motor so that then the pinion gear engages with the flywheel just perfectly. So stick around, I hope you enjoy. So what we're doing right now is we're taking these water pipes off because these two tubes that go up to the radiator from the head, apparently right down in here, there's a thermostat on this tube and a thermostat on that other one. So that's what we're doing right now, taking these off. Who knows? There might not even be thermostats in this, so we'll see what happens. Jeez, look at all the rust on that thing. Try not to let dirt go down inside of the water jacket. Thermostat?
No thermostat there. Yeah, right there.
There it is.
There it is. Full of gum.
Oh yeah, this has one too.
Good job. This one's shot.
Is it? How can you tell?
Well, the spring's totally rotted in too.
Here, let me come look at it.
Look. There's the spring.
Yeah, that one's that's toast. Where's the rest of the... Oh, that's the valve, or the flapper.
See, and it has all this stuff.
Well, I'm glad we checked that.
Yeah, for sure. Is there one in there?
Yeah, it's right here. This one's not as bad as that one, I don't think. How did you get it out? Holy cow. Look how just dirty that is. Man.
Wow.
Look at the top of this.
This pipe here is fairly clean. I mean,
Well, that's because
it's not corroded like that one.
all of the coolant has been flowing through that pipe. This one hasn't even been functional because this... Look at that. Well, based off of the poor condition of the thermostats here on the main engine, I'm also going to take the thermostat cover off of the pony motor and we'll look at this. Hopefully this one's not bad. I've been told that this is like a 100-degree thermostat that opens really at a low temperature just to, you know, get some heat into the pony motor, but then to let the coolant flow throughout the rest of the big engine. So it opens really, really early, but we'll see what this one's like under here. You have your dead blow. Get this off. Well, that is not dirty.
Wow.
Oh, there, I just heard it move.
There you go.
That's not too bad. I mean, it's not broken apart. We'll put it in some warm water, see if it opens up.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got that thermometer here on the stove, and if you can see, it's already opening right there. And this is a thermometer. It's at 120 degrees. So at about 120 degrees is the temperature at which that thermometer opens. So now that we've verified that this thermostat works, I did clean it up a little bit, but I didn't want to go too crazy on it because it's kind of delicate and I don't want to damage it. So we'll just go ahead and put it back in. I've cleaned off the gasket surface, and that's about the same position it was before. And clean off the gasket surface on this cap as well. And now we will just put the new gasket that I made, drop that down in place, and get this thing fastened back up. Okay. That's great. Okay, well, here we are. We're back up at my dad's place. I went and I bought a couple of thermostats. And so let's get those installed right now. Okay, so here we go. Set these down in here. They are a pretty tight fit. Oh, there we go. They're a pretty tight fit. In fact, I almost wondered if I should have maybe trimmed around the outside of these thermostats before I stood them in here. But I got my calipers out, and they're actually this recess right here where the thermostat sits. That's like 2.5015, so 15 thousandths over 2.5. And this thermostat is like 2.496. So it is smaller, but it's close. Anyway, so got the couple of thermostats, and one thing that I needed to do, you'll see this has a little bleed hole right here. I drilled that in this because on our 70, we put a new thermostat in that tractor, and it was a newer style thermostat, just like this one right here. And when we put that in there, the temperature on that would get hot, and then all of a sudden it would just like drop back down cold. And then it would get hot, and then drop down cold. And one of the guys in our club said, hey, you should drill a hole in that to let water pass by as it's heating up, so that then it doesn't build up so much pressure. So anyway, that's what he told us. We did that, and that fixed the problem right away. So I went onto Facebook, and I'm on a John Deere 2-cylinder Facebook page, and I posted a question just asking, people what they recommended. And sure enough, a lot of people said, yeah, you need to drill a hole in this. But they mentioned that the main reason is just to let air get past, because these new style of thermostats are tighter than the old style with that flapper valve that kind of tilts back and forth. And this new style won't let air pass. And so if I tried to fill up the block right now with water, I would just get a bunch of air trapped in there. So by drilling a little 1/8 inch hole right here in the thermostat, it should let all of the air bypass that and allow the thermostat to still function properly. So went ahead and did that, and now let's go ahead and get everything reinstalled. Well, that took a minute, but I did get those 2 water pipes with thermostats installed. It's kind of a bad design, I think, because these water pipes are solidly attached here to the top of the radiator, but then they are also solidly attached down here to the head, and so it's kind of like a double cantilever beam where there's no room for movement. So you have to loose install all of these bolts on both water pipes, because I'm moving around a lot. Because if you tighten these up down here all the way tight, then you can't get these tight. Or you can get it tight on one side, but you can't get it tight, the bolts started on the other side. So anyway, by the time you tighten everything down, there's probably a little bit of built up tension inside of those water pipes, but they're big, heavy duty cast pipes. But anyway, that took a while to get that put back together. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the fan back on. I already put the shroud on. Got to put the fan back on, the air breather, and I think, is that it? Yeah, I think so. Oh, and then I've also got to put on the coolant pipes right here for the pony motor that goes from right here around the exhaust and up here to the top of the radiator. So let's get going with that, putting all that back together. I'll probably do a time lapse because it's not going to be very fun for you guys to sit here and watch me do that. So through the magic of video editing, it's only going to take, I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds. Let's cue the music. Man, that takes a lot of time to just put everything back together. And as I was putting it back together, I thought, I hope I don't have any leaks. If I do have leaks, it will be right out of here, or I think more likely it's going to be down around there. I guess it's also possible that I've got leaks up here and down here around my radiator. But that is going to have to wait till morning. We'll pull this thing outside, fill it full of water or antifreeze, and I think I might pressure wash it. Blow everything off, then I can start, I can more easily tell where I've got leaks, and we'll go from there. So here we are on the pony motor, and we have the starting transmission of the pony motor where it engages the Bendix gear right here. If you can see down in there, let me get my light. The Bendix gear engages with the flywheel, and that's how you turn the big engine over. There's a clutch inside of here that has an adjustment, and when I put the pony motor back together and installed it on the tractor, I set the clutch to what the manual said, and last time I started it, I noticed that this pinion, this Bendix gear on the starting transmission actually started spinning before it came into engagement with the big flywheel. So I need to loosen up the clutch inside of here so that then the Bendix gear doesn't spin until it comes into contact with the flywheel. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take this cover off and I'll show you inside here. Okay, there it is. I don't know if you can. Okay, now you can see down inside of here a little bit better. This housing right here is kind of like the cover over the clutch pressure plate, and then you've got a throwout bearing down in there, and then this is like a yoke right here that moves that throwout bearing in and out. And this bolt and that lock nut, that is what sets the engagement for the clutch. And I'm going to loosen the lock nuts. There's 3 of those. I'm going to loosen the 3 lock nuts, and then I'm just going to back each one of these bolts out. Probably we'll start with just 1 turn and tighten the lock nut back up, and we'll see if that gives us the clearance we need so that then that Bendix gear doesn't spin until it comes into engagement with the flywheel. So I just adjusted the 3 adjusting bolts right there that I mentioned. Retightened everything, and now we're going to try it again and make sure that that this Bendix gear does not start spinning prematurely. I did notice, however, that with that simple adjustment, I adjusted those nuts half of a turn. Excuse me, I adjusted those bolts half of a turn. It did decrease the amount that this Bendix gear comes out into engagement with the flywheel. So now it comes out, but it doesn't fully engage with the flywheel. It's short by probably about 1/8 of an inch. So that's good enough for just trying. And once we verify that this isn't spinning, then we'll go back in and we will adjust another. There's another adjustment inside of this cover that we can adjust. Okay, I'm going to try starting this thing. It's been a long time since I've started it, and last time it was running, there was oil all throughout the whole exhaust system. So it's probably going to be really smoky, but let's hope it starts.
perfectly. That Bendix gear, it didn't start spinning until it was well engaged with the out here. It's really windy out here, but the pony motor wasn't firing on all the cylinders. So it had a little bit of a hard time turning the engine over. I think there's still some oil residue left in the combustion of the combustion chamber of the pony. Over here, it's less windy. Okay. So anyway, the pony motor wasn't firing on all cylinders, so it didn't really have as much power to turn the engine over as it has in the past. Still probably a lot of oil in the combustion chamber of that pony, but it did start everything. I do need to make that other adjustment on the inside of the starting transmission to make sure that the gear comes out a little bit farther. But now that I got the big engine started, I am gonna back it out and I'm gonna power wash it, and then we'll pull it back in and finish adjusting everything.
When we had that running just now and put our hands up here, man, this radiator and that fan, well, I guess it's the fan, and that shroud that's here, man, that thing pulls a ton of air through this radiator. So now that I've got a nice new core, an extra core from last time, then this should stay nice and cool. Sorry, you can probably barely hear me from all the wind, but you know what they say, March comes in like a lion and goes out like a bigger lion. So, okay, I just spent some time with the power washer cleaning this off. Let's set my gloves right here. I didn't make a video of that because it's so windy out here and it's hard to make a video of power washing. Anyway, let's go ahead and try to start this thing. I don't know if you've ever seen me start it up here from the driver's seat. Let's see what happens. So we're going to turn the key on right here. That makes that light go on. Now we're going to, oh wait, let's turn that off. Let's turn on my fuel. So now there's fuel into the pony motor. Now, just a sec, I gotta go get my tripod. Okay, fuel is on. I'm gonna turn the ignition on right now. Press the starter button. That's the choke. This is the throttle adjust. Let's let that run for a minute, warm up a little bit. I'm going to turn the fuel on right now so that then hopefully once I release the compression release, it'll pop once. So typically I don't do that, but there it goes. It works. Turn the fuel off. Got here is this right down here. That is called the shifter bracket, and when you pull the starting lever back, that shifter bracket comes over and it touches that spring. from the point that it touches that spring until the point that this is fully engaged and that Bendix gear is moved over all the way in mesh with the flywheel. The says right here that you want 11/32 of an inch, which is 0.344-ish. And I just measured it. I thought the first time I measured it, it was pretty far off, but I just measured it now a couple of times pretty carefully. And I measure 3, 4, 6, so I'm pretty good right there. So I got kind of lucky that even after adjusting the clutch down inside of here, that my the Bendix gear on my starting motor is still pretty close to being within spec, that 11/32 of an inch. If it wasn't within spec, what you would do is adjust this lock nut right here and move this in and out. This is connected to the throwout bearing of the flywheel back down in there, not the flywheel, of the clutch, back down in there. And you would adjust this in or out until you did have the proper 11/32 of an inch. So the other thing that you want to check is that the starter Bendix gear right here fully engages with the flywheel. And let me set up my camera and I'll show you that. Okay, you're going to be looking right here. This is the Bendix gear, and I'm going to go and pull the lever, and you should see this Bendix gear come over and fully engage with the flywheel.
Okay, with the pony motor all adjusted, that's going to do it for today's video. We got a lot of stuff done today. This stuff that I've been wanting to get done for a while. We got the cooling system all put back together, those thermostats put in, no leaks, so that's a huge win. And then we also adjusted that starting clutch on the pony motor. And so that works now. It doesn't grind, it just goes in and it's properly set. So I think we're going to run with that for a little while, and I'll check it and make sure that it's still within spec in a little while. But it's good to have that done. So thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next week with another video.